ready?
Let's do it.
Episode 1. Here we go. Yo, what's up? It's Sports Talk with the fellas. This is episode 1 of 2024, and joining me on the show, I have my brothers.
Bobby J.
L Dub in the house.
Word, what's up?
What's good?
What a Super Bowl it was.
Painful. Super Bowl for some of us, but you got to give it. You got to give it to Pat Mahomes. You got to give it to Andy Reid. Heck of a job calling plays for Andy Reid, and man, you just gotta find a way to put a stop to Pat Mahomes. If you got him down, you got to keep him down. You can't just let up.
Right. That was the thing. I also got to give a shout out to Spags because I think his adjustments at halftime, where he picked up his blitz pressure on Purdy, was huge. There were mistakes made by both teams. One team capitalized on them, the other one didn't. We fumbled the ball the first drive, already in scoring position. We could at least came away with 3 points for that. And you got to shout out Chris Jones. Chris Jones basically eliminated 3 touchdown passes by the 49ers because he either came free and had to make Brock rush the ball, but he disrupted the offense all damn night.
I want to apologize to Kansas City because at the beginning of the season, I counted them out.
I think most people counted them out, especially after they went and got mollywopped by the Raiders. Come on, man. The Raiders? Yeah, they were not, the team that they've been in the playoffs was not the team we were watching all season. Dropping passes. They dropped more passes than any other team in the NFL, including Kelsey. And then it was like they just flipped the switch when the playoffs hit. So you got to take your hats off to him. And like I said, Mahomes is him. You got to give credit when credit's due.
You got to think about the evolution of Kansas City from the beginning of the year, having all these drop passes, and then the way Mahomes just stepped up and said, hey, maybe I can throw the ball better. But then they changed and went to more of a short passing game, went to more of giving it to Isaiah Pacheco, the 7th round pick out of Rutgers,
right?
That football factory. But the way that, again, they made an overall adjustment, not just making halftime adjustments, but just adjusting their scheme to continue to win. You got to give it to them for that.
Right. I have to agree with you on that because they changed their style of offense. And they also relied on their defense even more this year than they have in previous years.
Yeah, they didn't throw a single deep ball that whole game. They only had that one.
The one, yeah.
The 52-yarder. But other than that, I don't think anything went – a ball in the air didn't go past 10 yards.
Right. They dinked and dunked, and they did what they had to do.
So. And, you got to recognize that and take advantage of it. If they was giving it to them, okay, because in the beginning – Kansas City was getting smashed.
Oh, yeah. San Francisco dominated both sides of the ball the whole first quarter and a half. And that's where the mistakes was made. We dominated but didn't put enough points on the board to give us that cushion because Pat going to make a run. Like I said, we left points on the field with the fumble. You got the plays in the second half, the muffed punt or whatever you want to call it. The ball hit old dude's foot. Ray should have just fell on the ball instead of trying to pick it up and make something happen. You give them the ball at the 10-yard line, that's a touchdown before they even get the touchdown. You know they're going to score.
That's one of the things that we'll always talk about is day one stuff.
Right.
There's a fumble, fall on the ball. If it's 4th and 1, don't jump off sides. If you the kicker, all you got to do is kick the little ball through the 2 yellow sticks.
You got one job.
You ain't got to run sprints. You ain't got to report to the weight room. You just got to stand off to the side and kick the little ball over the lineman.
Right.
Let's talk about these new overtime rules.
I completely forgot about them because nobody had utilized them because this is the first overtime in how many years?
Since the Falcons collapsed.
Yeah, that Shanahan was tied to as well. But yeah, I didn't even realize. To be honest with you, I didn't realize that they had made that change because I didn't really pay no attention to it. But yeah, San Francisco probably should have deferred and let Kansas City have the ball first, especially with the way it was set up. But also understood Shanahan's mindset. He was like, okay, it's about a quarter. So if we get the ball first, we can end up getting the ball last. So he was looking at us, them, us before time expired, but it didn't work out that way.
But see, that's not what I heard. I heard some of the players was talking about, and again, we're talking about the difference between a contender and a champion. They said Kansas City has been practicing for that situation all year long,
Correct.
and they was prepared for it. But then they're saying San Francisco's players was like, "Yeah, I wasn't aware of the overtime rules, not for
Right.
the Super Bowl."
Yeah. Drew said it, and so did Armstead.
And you got 2 weeks to prepare.
Right.
You're supposed to be prepared for everything. That's what the 2 weeks is for.
Yeah, they both went up to the mic and both clearly stated that. And I was like, wow. I mean, to be in the Super Bowl and not know the rules of the overtime for the Super Bowl or for the playoffs period, however it is, I was surprised. But what I said is about Shanahan, that was his explanation when they asked him why he took the ball. But yeah, the players, half of them seems like they didn't know or were even aware of the new rules, which makes no sense because that does come down to coaching.
So now, overtime rules, I was a big proponent of the old school way, sudden death overtime. To me, it's like when we was playing basketball back in the day, 16 by 2, 21 straight.
Right.
Overtime was 21 straight. But me personally, I've come around to letting both teams have a possession. But, I kind of feel like, well, the defense still has just as much of a chance because they can cause a fumble, they can get a stop, they can intercept the ball. So kind of me is still a little bit old school, but in the Super Bowl, I'm okay with the rule change to give both teams a shot. If you done played 60 minutes like that, and especially with Kansas City not subbing on the D line like that, they're telling their D line, nah, you got to go straight up for 60. You get a playoff maybe, but
right.
Yeah, I'm okay with that rule.
Let's talk about Brock Purdy. Do you think this loss hurt Brock?
I don't think it did because, as I was watching earlier, his QBR was 70 and higher than both Jackson, Allen, and Tua's when they played Kansas City. Theirs was all in the range of about 40 something. And then on the pressure, it went up to 75. So his QBR was better than those three very good quarterbacks. The thing is with Brock is going to always have the field goal moved. Doesn't matter what he does. He can go out and play a great game. They'll come up with another reason why they don't want to acknowledge what he's doing.
Totally agree. What you think about that, L?
The game manager?
The game manager.
No, but dude, last pick of the draft. I mean, that's one thing everybody's gonna know about Brock Purdy. He's the last pick of the draft. Okay, that's fine. That's great. But he got you to the NFC Championship game. Now he got you to the Super Bowl, all on a rookie salary, and you don't get to increase his salary until the end of next year.
Right.
So you've got all these tools around him. He's demonstrated that he can get the ball out. He can get the ball to him because his accuracy is all that. And the next step he has to take is learning that late game execution. Having to make that drive at the end of the game and getting the ball to other people. But then again, you got to put it on Shanahan a little bit to make sure that he's getting the right players in the right places, like you see Andy Reid doing.
Right.
That fourth down call where they run the read option on the backside and get the first down. We've got to see some stuff like that out of San Francisco so that they can take the next step.
Right.
But the man's done everything that's been asked of him.
Right.
That's all you can ask for out of your quarterback.
Right. I mean, you're talking about somebody who has basically only been starting in NFL for 1.5 seasons. Who knows what would have happened in the NFC Championship game last year had he not got hurt in the first quarter. He's come in there. He broke the all-time yardage record for a season, and he done that on a team that has 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in Montana and Steve Young. Ayuk had his best year ever. So people, when they say that he doesn't make everybody else better, granted, he's got a lot of talent around him, and I appreciate it. But if he doesn't have the ability to get them the ball, that talent's useless.
He stays within himself.
Exactly.
He stays within the system, and he's got to elevate that. He's got to make that, I won't say more about him, but he's got to take that leadership level up a notch.
Right.
So it can't be, well, let me distribute the ball. There's going to be a time where he's going to say, F it, I got to win this game.
I got to take it. And, I mean, he showed me signs because I think he played a heck of a game against Detroit in the second half when we looked like trash and they was beating us like we stole something in the first half. And then for them to come out and play the way they did in the second half and him to have that drive to get that victory. But, yeah, you're right. And we're also talking about, a 23-year-old young man who, again, up until the Miami game last year, he planned on just being on the bench and learning. And then Jimmy G goes down, and all of a sudden, he has to come in the game. In the first play, they blitz him, and he gets hit, and he gets right up, and he's shown me a lot, and I trust him.
So now that Kansas City is considered a dynasty, how many more Super Bowls do you think Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes can win?
Man, that depends on how long Andy's going to stay.
Exactly.
It depends on how long Andy's going to stay, because the Andy Reid you see now is not the Andy Reid that was in Philadelphia. That is not the Andy Reid that lost to the Patriots. This is, he's done a whole new thing. And like we said earlier, the way he makes adjustments, the way he prepares, the way he calls plays throughout the game and at the end of the game, right now there's nobody out there.
For me, Andy Reid is the MVP. Out of all the games that you watch, I've never seen Andy Reid go away from his game plan. Never. He comes prepared. He has his players prepared. I mean, you talking about disciplined players. Andy Reid is, it's phenomenal. He's just a phenomenal coach. And
he's arguably the best.
Hats off to Andy Reid.
He's arguably the best coach in the NFL right now.
He's got all-time wins leader at 2 different teams.
Right.
That's awesome right there. San Fran, that's your team.
Yes.
How long you think that core going to be together? And do you think they can be back in a Super Bowl in a upcoming season?
I really think that they've already said their focus this offseason is going to be to get BA signed. Get him some money and nail him down. We already got Debo taken care of for a little bit. Kittles and Fred Warner. So I think we'll figure it out. And, yeah, if we stay healthy, that's the key for San Francisco, and that's for any team. I hated seeing Greenlaw go down. Just actually literally running on the field to get ready to play defense and tear his Achilles. But if we stay healthy, yeah, we're going to be one of the top teams in NFC. I mean, there was going to always be a challenge, but I can see us in the Super Bowl again, barring any major injuries.
I think they got to be the favorite going into next year. And again,
I would agree with that.
But I think depending on what their cap situation is, that window could be closing because, like I said, this is the last year that you got Brock on the cheap.
Right, they're going to have to pay him,
and you really got to take advantage of that.
Right, and if he goes out and puts up the numbers that he put up this year and gets us back to at least the NFC Championship game or whatever, he's going to get the bag. And then they're going to have to give him a $50 million contract.
But I mean, when you think about the NFC, who else is out there? Here we go.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if what they're gonna do and if they're ready. They don't. If a big game is at home, they're okay. But
yeah, all you gotta do is take Dallas on the road.
And then we got transition going on in Philadelphia. We gotta see what
again.
Right.
We gotta see what Jalen Hurts is really about.
He's got a lot to prove coming back next season.
You take it. Is this new offensive coordinator going to take him out of his RPO game? And like we've talked before, you don't see Jalen changing plays at the line. So
right.
After Dallas and Philly,
I look at, to me, I think the up and comers are going to be Green Bay and Detroit. Green Bay showed me a lot. Even when we played them, Jordan Love is definitely their quarterback. They got some nice young receivers around him. Aaron, the running back, is a top-notch running back. If they can keep that core, they're going to make some noise. I definitely think that they're going to be a contender next season. I think we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a fall off with Philadelphia, kind of like what we saw at the end of this season, where they just couldn't find a way to win a game. And I wouldn't be surprised if that lingers on the next year. And Dallas is just going to be Dallas. They'll win games at home, and then they'll go on the road and get smacked around. And they'll go into the playoffs, and they'll lose.
I really want to see what Philly's going to do. I think that the loss of the OC and the defense coordinator, I mean, you could see the difference. The team looked totally different. The style of ball they played, everything about that offense and defense was just different. They didn't seem right. They just went away from the fundamental things that they did the prior season. They did everything totally different. And they arguing amongst each other.
Right.
And that was crazy.
And to piggyback on top of losing the OC and the DC, they lost some key players off of that defense because Hargrave came to us. They lost because, to me, their linebacking core is probably one of the worst in the NFL. The one they put on the field this year, they were trash.
That secondary was trash.
Yeah, so their defensive line was still pretty solid. They're getting up in age though. But yeah, the back seven, trash. Them linebackers, I don't know where they found them. I was like, I gotta go play for them. Not now, but yeah. Philadelphia has got, to me, going into next season, that is going to be the biggest question mark of the season for me. Because even them games that they were winning in the beginning of the season, they weren't dominant. They got lucky on a lot of those games. They didn't really dominate anybody that they beat.
Nah, and they struggled against the Commanders, so.
Right.
What's that team called?
My bad. WTF. WTF. The Washington team football.
Overall, I mean, I thought it was a good Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to next season to see what happens. I can see some great football next season.
It's going to be interesting to see what the Chargers do now that they got Harbaugh there, and see what kind of ball they play. because I think they finally got a coach there that's going to make Herbert better. So it's going to be definitely Kansas City is going to be the favorite, of course, but you still got Buffalo that's going to be sitting out there. Tua and the Dolphins are going to be sitting out there. C.J. Stroud has made strides. You still got to worry about the Jaguars. It's going to be pretty interesting. I think we're going to see some very solid competitive football for the most part on both sides.
Don't forget the Bengals now.
Oh yeah, you can't forget about Joe.
Don't forget about the last player to beat Mahomes in the playoffs.
Right, I give you that.
Don't forget about Burrow.
Can't do that. Yeah. So, and even with you got to even give a nod to Cleveland just with their defense. They're going to make themselves competitive simply because their defense can keep them in games. Now, if they can figure out who they going to have a quarterback, that's going to make a big difference. If Deshaun can actually come back healthy and play like he did when he was with the Texans, then they can be a contender. And if Chubb comes back healthy, but yeah, Cincinnati, I think Cincinnati and Baltimore should be the front runners of the North. So, but the AFC is going to be tough. It's definitely going to be more of a fight coming out of AFC than it is coming out of the NFC.
Pittsburgh is going to be back.
Y'all getting another quarterback?
They coming back off the simple fact that they ain't got Matt Canada.
That's my QB.
They coming back for the simple fact that y'all got rid of Matt Canada.
Right. Don't get me wrong. Kenny Pickett's a decent quarterback. I'm just giving you a hard time.
He's just a decent quarterback.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not. Yeah, he's like, not gonna get anything better than that. He's decent.
Yeah, I don't. I think we'll look for a QB because I just don't think he's it.
And it's going to be interesting because like you said, if Pittsburgh doesn't think he's it, yeah, they are going to be looking for a quarterback.
We'll see, but Tomlin need to do something, man, because I think people getting restless in Pittsburgh.
Right. When you start having people saying that he needs to go, people getting frustrated. You're talking about a man who's figured out, regardless of the talent, he's figured out a way to have a winning season every damn year. I definitely didn't expect them to have a winning season this year, especially the way they started out.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, he about to have his first losing season. And all of a sudden, they won a game here. They won a game there. They won this game. I'm like, these fools have come around and pulled off having a better than 500 season. Okay, Tomlin, I'll give you yours.
But why do they have to get in that situation for him to start coaching his butt off? Why isn't he coaching his butt off from day one?
That part
I was
right
ready
there.
to say that myself.
So here it is that they down on their luck. You counting them out, just like, okay, we playing Pittsburgh, we got this, and they come up out of nowhere and smack you.
Right.
And he rallies, and they finish above 500. Okay, if you rallied like that, you should have been approaching the beginning of the season like that.
Yeah, the same energy that you showed at the end of the season, you should have showed all season. From a coaching and playing perspective.
I'm not going to lie. I was one of those people.
I know a couple people's like, you got to go.
I was one of those people that I was like, yeah. Because, I mean, I watched some of the games, and I'm looking, I'm like, is he going to do something? Is he going to make some changes? Do he even care? I listen to the interviews, and it's like, no sense of urgency. It's just like, we just got to play better. And come the next game, you look like you did the last game. I don't get it. But
yeah, I know a couple of their receivers came under fire because they seemed like they had a lackluster effort in what they were doing on the field.
Yeah, but like I said, it was a good Super Bowl. Swizzy. Swizzy. Nice halftime show.
Yeah, it was.
Nice halftime show.
Anybody
I was entertained.
Anybody that said it wasn't, I kind of questioned because I thought it was pretty entertaining. The fact that he did 3 outfit changes in a 10-minute show.
13 minutes, and he roller skated.
Yeah, that was the impressive part. That he came out there and pearled, then ran back out and put some tennis shoes on and came back out and finished it.
Those did look like question mark tennis shoes, though.
Yes, they did look very suspect. I was like, these ain't Nikes. Those
are bikies.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what tennis shoes he got on, but they do not look up to par.
Oh man.
But yeah, I thought it was pretty good halftime show.
On that note, L. Hart wanted to talk about some college football.
Oh, we can always talk about college football.
Without a doubt.
Let's talk about those Ohio State Buckeyes.
That's right. So let's talk about Tell me you trying to save your job without trying to say you trying to save your job. You done went out and hired a former head coach as your offensive coordinator. When you was looking for an offensive coordinator, you was going to reach down to a smaller school and grab a head coach as an offensive coordinator. Your guy, Bill O'Brien, leaves to take the Boston College job, which totally understandable.
Right.
Man's got a special needs kid in Boston that puts him closer to his child. All for that.
Makes perfect sense.
But then you go get Chip Kelly.
That's wild.
And you had to pay the $1.5 million buyout to get him out of UCLA. You tapped another head coach, and the head coach is like, yeah, I just want to come and play ball. I just want to come and call ball plays. As a matter of fact, let me come and work for you because I mentored you. Now let me help you out.
Yeah, that's wild.
So, I mean, we all know that is the hottest seat in college football right now because of the moves that he's making. Bringing in Chip Kelly, raiding the transfer portal that he did the way he did.
That was highway robbery, bro.
The way he snatched up them Alabama players. And props to the collective for coming through with some NIL money.
Right.
But, you know, again, you've got a brand. When Fox needs ratings, oh, well, let's put Ohio State on. We gonna get ratings.
Exactly.
So that is the hottest seat in college football right now.
I think with all these moves that's been made and all that money spent, yeah, better come through.
Yeah, there's gonna be definitely high expectations.
Better come through.
They gotta beat Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And they need, well, we're going to make the playoffs, I'm pretty sure, because they go to the new format next year. But, yeah, they got to beat Michigan. If you're going to have 3 quarterbacks to compete. You got Norland coming in. You got the kid Sayin coming from Bama. And your boy coming from Kansas State.
Oh, no. So the way they talking, oh, no. It's Will Howard and everybody else. Never mind what Devin Brown did, and we're not gonna talk about the dude.
Yeah, Devin
the farce.
Yeah,
the farce that came off the bench, the way they treated that poor boy.
Yeah,
but you know they done wrote Devin Brown off as like.
I wrote Devin Brown off last year.
This is Will Howard's squad,
right? And I think that even with that, if Will Howard wouldn't have came, it would have been either Norland or Sayin's job. I think Devin Brown might want to look at the portal.
He need to get his ankle checked out first.
That too.
Yeah, we need to toughen up them ligaments in his ankle.
Yeah. We as Ohio State fans, we gave McCord a hard time, and I think that was because we were used to elite play at the quarterback position for years. You go back to Stroud, Fields, even the Troy Smiths, Terrell Pryors, Braxton Millers.
And you still got Haskins and Barrett.
Right. Those guys played that position at an elite level. McCord came in and was solid. He wasn't bad. He was solid. And that way we're not used to that. We're used to astounding numbers.
That dude was like the quarterback on electric football.
Yeah.
You remember the quarterback? You stick the little foam football on his arm, and his arm was already positioned like that. That was McCord.
Right.
He is straight robot, straight mechanical. You think about Rock'em Sock'em Robots when you think about him. But best of luck to him in Syracuse. I think that's a better fit.
Right.
I don't know what they saw, but it's gonna be interesting. Let Air Nolan come and sit and learn. Don't turn the reins over to him yet.
Right. I would
let him get that year just like CJ did.
Right. I would definitely like to see him sit next year, and go with Will Howard. I watch a tape on Will. I like what I see in him. He's a nice size, but he's mobile. He got a strong arm. So I think that'd be smooth. And I haven't seen any tape on Sand, but he's supposed to be pretty nice too.
Yeah. I mean, he was about to come and do something at Bama, but hey, I tell you what, we're gonna see how all of this play out because I'm telling you now, the NIL is killing the game, man.
Mike Loxley was talking about his third string running back coming in talking about I need 6 figures. Wait a minute.
Figures.
You third string. You come in for mop up duty, but I need 6 figures. Nah, G, you can go ahead and hit that portal.
Right.
Exactly. So, these kids want money now.
And that's because they opened the door for it. And I think that there should be some sort of restrictions on it. Because you got some of these kids who's making money like they would be making if they were actually in the NFL. Now, if you're a superstar, I can see if you got several NIL deals or you doing a commercial for Doritos and somebody else wants to put your liking in their commercials and all that. But, dude, if you are just one of the average players, yeah, be lucky you doing a popcorn commercial. Stop it.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Coaches is getting fed up with it, and
that's why O'Brien is at Boston College because Hafley left he left a head coach job to become the D coordinator at the Packers. You know, and then you got Chip leaving a head coach job to come be an offensive coordinator. No, I mean you gotta recruit players to come here. Then when the season's over, you got to recruit them to stay. Coaches ain't feeling all that.
Right.
Great example, Nick Saban. Nick Saban was old, and he said it. Them long hours was getting to him. A lot of people figured it was coming, but they didn't think it would come like that.
Yeah, I was surprised that he walked away this year.
But another thing Nick said too was he talked about the recruiting. And he said it was getting harder because when you go on and talk to these players, the first thing come out their mouth is, what you gonna give me? And Nick is about earning. You gotta earn it.
Right.
Nick is old school. And I think it just started taking a toll on him, and hey, he was like, I'm up out of here.
Right. I think a lot of that is, and the thing is now it's just out in the open. Back in the day, you had boosters slipping money to the families and things like that, which was illegal, but they were doing it because they wanted those kids to come to those schools. Now that you got the NIL, the kids can say, hey, I want this. I want that. And to me, there should be stipulations that you get this NIL if you come in and you produce. I'm not giving you NIL money just off of your name. You may come and never touch the field, but we paying you all this money just because you were a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. And NIL money should come with your achievements. Now, if you want to have a base pocket money NIL for players when they first come in, but if you want to start talking about the big deals, you get the big deals based on what you did. Okay, you came in and became our starting quarterback, and you led us to a winning record and we won a bowl game and you threw for 27 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions, okay, we go ahead and give you some money. But you come in as a starting quarterback and we got a losing season and you throw more interceptions than you threw touchdowns, ain't no damn way that you deserve NIL, big-time NIL money. No, I'm sorry. It's like the NFL. If I don't do shit in the NFL, they ain't going to give me no big contract.
Nah, you gonna get some scissors. You gonna get cut.
That part.
It's gonna be interesting. There's a lot of football to talk about in the upcoming weeks, months. You know, we still got
the combine. We still got the draft.
yeah.
We got to figure out what the Bears is gonna do.
got spring games.
Right.
We got some college basketball we can talk about, especially on the female side. You got Caitlin Clark out there. South Carolina still beating the brakes off everybody.
You got LSU that's just up and down. They got talent, so eventually they may flip it on and turn it on and make some noise. But yeah, it's just a lot.
It's been a good first episode, I think.
Yeah.
Start out. We do have a surprise for everybody. We got a nice segment for everybody.
I think everybody will enjoy that segment.
We're definitely gonna enjoy it.
Your team or your player might be who we talk about.
Team could be next.
Yep. Your team, your coach, your favorite player, your favorite girlfriend. If
you fit the criteria,
you can get it. I'm F. Dot.
Bobby J.
L-Dub in the house.
This is Sports Talk with the Fellas, and we're out.
Peace.